Testing, testing. Black Man Renaissance. This is Black Man Renaissance.
What's going on?
Ain't nothing.
I just wanted to talk to you about just fitness, right?
Yes.
So let's start off with, where'd you grow up?
In the Bronx.
You grew up in the Bronx.
Yeah.
All right. So where did your fitness journey begin? Did you start off playing sports?
No. I wasn't even in the fitness business at the time. I was more in the clothing industry business. And I had two guys who were like bodybuilders that actually were training to compete, and I started working out with them. And they were the ones who actually convinced me that I should be a trainer, a certified personal trainer. It was nothing that I was looking into. Things happen when you're not looking for it. And I said to myself then, you know what, I might just take you guys up on it and just get the license. And that's what made me get certified, was them. Because I was around them most of my time, and we were always working out a little bit. So I was learning from them before I even got my license.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
It took me about a year to get my license.
Okay.
But I was working out with them for about 7 years before I got the license, and then they kept bugging me to get it. Then I was just like, you know what? Let me just get the license.
Okay. So how has the journey been?
It's been great. I mean, the training is like, it's paid 3-4-fold. It's like, it's interesting and it's good for people. I always tell people, it's something that you have to love. That if you love what you do, then it's good. People have lost 150 pounds, 100 pounds. It's all in. I explain to people the weights don't have to be heavy in order for it to be effective, but there has to be a degree of difficulty in your workout regimen. Minimum. Anybody who's considering training or needs a trainer, because I feel in my heart that everybody needs a trainer in the beginning. People come, they join the gym, and they say, well, I'll do it on my own myself. And then, you don't want to injure yourself because you're trying to get yourself in shape. It's always good to have some eyes looking at you that can help you in the beginning. I don't say you need a trainer forever, but in the beginning, if you're really unfamiliar with the gym, with the machines, because even when they give you the first workout, it's really not enough, You need that guidance in the beginning, and then after that, you can say, all right, I've learned enough from the trainer, I can go on my own,
Right.
My thing is minimum, in the beginning, for anybody who's trying to lose weight or seeking to just get themselves in the rhythm, minimum they should train is twice a week. And it's going to be beneficial to them. One thing is, it's going to hold you accountable for coming into the gym, and you're going to feel guilty if you're paying for something. If you're paying for something, you pay more attention to it than if you're not paying for it.
Right.
And you go into the gym and you're paying for a regular membership, it's a toss-up if you're coming the next day or not. You know what I'm saying? If you have a trainer, then it's not a toss-up. Well, hold up, I'm not going to lose my $100 a session. I'm going to go into the gym and train. And you get the best workouts when you don't really want to work out.
Right. Now, what are the different objectives that people come to you for?
I have people who, I do like post-rehabilitation. I just finished a client beforehand in our house. People who have injuries, cancer rehab. There's no one specific thing that people come to me for, because I'm certified in more than one objective. And then you have the average of a person that is weight loss or just wants to feel good, like they're doing something. Anybody that's into weight loss, good and healthy weight loss, is considered by me as 2 to 3 pounds a week. Any more than that is a little eccentric. But you might lose more than that, but on average 2 to 3 pounds a week, because you want it to come off a little slowly so that you don't just pack it back on. You have a lot of people who want to do just like these fasts, these diet regimens, and they don't realize they're actually doing their body a lot more damage than they are good, because what they do is they I'm fasting. You're just taking all the nutrients out of your body on the fast, and it looks like you're losing weight, but you're really losing water weight. You're not losing any fat or anything like that. You're losing water weight. But what happens with those quick fast diets is that once you start eating, you put double the weight back on.
Wow.
You yo-yoing back and forth, up and down, and you're constantly looking at the scale. If you're looking at the scale every week and getting on there and looking for results, that's not what you need to do. You need to consistently train for like a month or 2 months, and then you go on there, you check here and there, but not every day, because your weight naturally fluctuates. Even when you drink water, your body weight goes up and down. So there's 3 ways for your body to rid itself of body fat, and it's either we sweat, we excrete it through urine, or we poop it out. One of those 3 ways is ways that your body comes in and out. And the next thing is how much water are you taking in, because the water is what helps the temperature in your body, and it keeps your body weight healthy, you know what I mean? So, and a lot of people don't realize that. They go to these gyms and they buy these Gatorades and they think they're doing something, but Gatorade is full of nothing but sodium. It's like I'm drinking a bottle of salt.
Right.
Those things have to be diluted in half. If you buy a regular bottle of Gatorade, you have to dilute that with water and ice.
Right.
It's not meant to be sweet, because you're just taking in all the sodium into your body. So you're actually putting on more weight,
Right. Now, yeah, I knew a girl that would always take water pills whenever she wanted to lose weight. What's your idea on that? What's your thought on that?
That's not really. You can use coffee as a diuretic.
Okay.
What water pills do is, sure, it may dry you out, but the long-term effect are, what am I doing to my kidneys? What am I doing to my kidneys? Am I hurting my kidneys, or am I, which one? And you're taking water pills, you're hurting your kidneys. You can't, that's not what it is,
Now, how important is the BMI, or should we even be looking at that?
I don't necessarily agree with the BMI, because a lot of those charts that they have, they're outdated.
Okay.
And what happens with a lot of people is they get confused with, like, all right, say we go to the doctor and the doctor's like, well, for your weight and your height, you should be 125. You have to average it out. That was way back when. My body structure is different from another person's body structure. You understand? We're taller, some we're shorter. So my theory is always going to be, do what makes you feel happy, what makes you healthy. It's not about, I want to be the skinniest person in the room, or I want to, what you call it. I just want to be a healthy weight. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel good about myself, and know that I'm working towards my goal of getting myself down.
How important do you think it is for black men to really take fitness seriously?
Well, it's very important. I mean, that's one thing that we tend to neglect. And it's just because we don't have the resources or the money to, like, say they don't have the money to join the gym or whatever. So a lot of the times you see them in the hood and they're outside in the park when it's nice,
Oh, doing the bars?
Yeah, doing the bars and stuff like that. But then they don't have a real gym membership, because they don't necessarily have the funds to pay for a gym membership. You got to realize gym memberships are it's like signing your life away, because say, unfortunately, you lose your job, they're still locking you into a contract. And even if they say that they're not locking you into a contract, it's hard for you to get them to cut your contract that you have. So that's the reason why it's important for most people, if you do decide that you want to join the gym, just read it, because in the fine print is where they catch a lot of us at. Because a lot of minorities, they don't read the contract. It's just like, I'll give you one great example. It's just like Planet Fitness. It's $10 a month, right? It's $10 a month. It's $130 for a year. Those things, I always tell people, if you join those gyms, you need to pay it off for the whole year, because how they get you is, say they go to extract the $10 and it's not there. It becomes $35 because they charge you a late fee for it being late.
Right.
They always withdraw the money before the date that they tell you. We don't pay attention to it, and you might say, well, I got another day to put it in there, but already the week before your due date, they've already tapped your account. So now when you go in and you're going to tell them, like, why did you tap it wasn't that date? They're going to say, oh, it's not us, it's the computer system. And then they're not going to refund. They're going to say you're still held liable for the $35. Because with it being $10, they're planning on you not showing up to the gym. That's why it's so cheap. Because they're still getting paid whether you show up or not. If you realize how many people join Planet Fitness for so cheap, and they probably don't even go to the gym, but 2 years later down the line, they're still paying for a gym membership.
Now, with that being said, would you recommend people going to like large chain gyms or local gyms?
I mean, with the COVID and everything going on now, I would say you need to go to just a gym where you know that they're consistently cleaning it. I'm not going to say a check, because you're going to get the same workout whether it's in a $500 gym, $500 a month gym, or a regular $30 or $10 a month gym. I mean, obviously, if it's the cheapest of the cheap, you know that the cleaning situation right now during COVID is not great. So you want to stay in the middle. You can use a $30 gym, a $40 gym, something where you know that you see people cleaning at, because that's really what's important. You know?
Yeah. You know, I was just reading an article the other day about black men and kidney disease, right?
Right.
So it says, among people diagnosed with kidney disease and high blood pressure, African American men are least likely to have their blood pressure under control.
That's true. I'll agree with that. The main reason for that is we eat a lot of Chinese food, which is nothing but packed with sodium. We eat a lot of fried chicken. Most of the stuff that we do, we don't drink water. You know what I'm saying? And we don't exercise. That's one of the main reasons for it. Our eating is off the chain. It's like, there's a reason why there's McDonald's, why there's, those things, you can eat them, but you have to eat them in moderation. I'm not going to say you have to stop. It's hard to tell a person when they've been eating bad for so long to stop doing something. So what you want to do is you want to try and minimize it, especially if you know you have underlying factors. You want to minimize and pay attention to what it is. So if I have fried chicken today, I can't have fried chicken tomorrow or for the next 3 days. I have to go into something baked, steamed, or stewed, because, you know, I'm trying to minimize my hospital. I'm trying to minimize my kidneys. And then if you have like kidney disease or, you know, things with your liver, you should be drinking like cranberry juice, because cranberry juice helps the kidneys to actually work. It doesn't put any strain on it. And you shouldn't be drinking anything diuretic. Anything diet forces the kidneys to work even harder, because the saccharin or the doesn't digest in your system. So it causes your kidneys to work extremely harder than it would normally work if you just like drinking water. Or you can put lemon in there, or any type of teas. They have like the Crystal Light teas.
Right.
You can put them in water for people who don't like to drink water. And you shake it up and you put it in like one of those big 32-ounce water.
That's what I do all day. Crystal Lights in the gallon jugs.
Right, exactly. And that will help you, because it has a taste to it, but you're drinking water. And you're helping your body, because remember now, you're going to notice, like, if you see some guys, they have like these brown marks in their skin, or their skin looks dark, and it's because the kidneys are acting up. They don't drink enough water. So your body is always dehydrated.
Wow.
If you start drinking that water, your whole complexion, everything is going to lighten up, because you're taking water into your body, and it's helping your body to regulate itself. And
okay.
I always tell people, you can regulate it without even knowing it, by just simple steps, or like eating garlic when you have something to eat. You know, a lot of people don't like to eat garlic, but garlic it helps with your pressure. It cleans your blood, you know. If you have coffee, I'm a coffee drinker. I always put some cinnamon in my coffee. The cinnamon regulates your blood sugar level so that your sugar is not high. You understand? So those are the little shortcuts that they can do without a doctor's help to help themselves. You know, and this day and time, you go into the doctor, it's like $500 just for them to tell you you're okay. And they ain't do nothing but just make sure your pressure ain't up, and make sure your heart is okay. You know?
Right. Diabetics.
Mm-hmm.
What do you suggest for them as far as, you know, leading a healthy lifestyle?
For diabetics, it's anything with diabetics is like unsalted nuts, more fruits, a banana here and there, a banana and an apple because it helps them a lot. But again, they have to really pay attention to what it is. They shouldn't be eating anything like fried. They got to minimize it. Any type of breads, because those are the things that we like because it's so cheap. Any type of soups, stuff like that, diabetics have to stay away from because it's like a starch. It turns to sugar, and the sugar increases and turns into body fat. So you want to make sure that you're constantly paying attention. One of the easiest ways for a person who's a diabetic to keep track of it is they should be writing down what they're eating during the course of the day, because a lot of it spikes up is because they don't eat at all. Like they think by not eating they're doing a grave service and saying, oh, I ate once today. You're actually doing your body more harm, because everything, your insulin levels, all of that is going to spike up because you're not eating enough during the course of the day. So if you're a person like we love rice, it's not bad, but we have to minimize it. So the first thing in the morning that what we should be doing is, like, if we're going to eat anything like carb loaded, it should be in the middle of the day. And the reason for it being in the middle of the day is that you're up and you're around and you're moving. Later at night, we're not doing anything. We're going and we're sitting in front of the TV, and it's just going to spike.
Okay.
It depends on the person. It depends on the situation. But I always say that the best thing is writing it down, because people go by what they see. If they see and you can correct them right then and there and tell them we need to adjust this, we need to adjust what you're eating, then it helps them, because then it makes them more aware. And it's like anything else. When you minimize it and you really see that you don't really need it, then you push away from it.
Yeah. Is it very important for them to have like breakfast, or is there an important meal for them to have?
Well, it's important for them to have something whole grain at breakfast. It's important for them to have. I always tell anybody, you should be eating breakfast when you first wake up in the morning. And the reason for that is you want your metabolism running.
Okay.
By you having your metabolism running, your metabolism slows down after 3 hours. So say you wake up in the morning and we have an average cup of coffee. We may have a small thing of oatmeal, because I would use oatmeal as a good, factor, and having some oatmeal. If you don't like oatmeal, then you do like plain Cheerios or Honey Nut Cheerios. I would do like plain Cheerios or something with or grape nuts, something like that. And the reason that you're doing that is, what happens is that when you digest that, it sticks to the walls of the colon, and it's going to help your metabolism run, and that's going to help you go to the bathroom.
Oh, the fiber.
The fiber is going to help, because when it goes in, it sticks to the walls of the colon. And it helps to clean the walls, and it helps to excrete the bacteria out of your body. So, and that's just one of the ways. You can do like tea with lemon and honey. That'll help you. Or if they're going to bed at night, before they go to bed at night, you take a tablespoon of like a black seed oil, a teaspoon of black seed oil, which is going to help with your pressure. It's going to help with a lot of ailments, just so that you're getting yourself into a rhythm. It doesn't taste great, but again, you're trying to live and you're trying to be healthy. And then if you're not doing any type of minimal exercise, and you start out with like 15 minutes a day of just like movement, wall exercises, things that you can do on the wall, things you can do standing up, and you just gradually ease yourself into it, because you're still trying to exercise your heart. You want to keep it healthy. So those little minimal things become bigger things later. Everybody's at a different intensity level, but I always treat everybody, even if they tell me that they work out, as if they've never worked out, because you've never experienced a workout that I'm going to give you. So I'm not going to have you do something that I know you typically can't do, because it's not just them, but it's just guys too in general, that they always say, oh, I've been working out, man, I've been doing this for a long time. And then they're like, well, how much are you pressing? And they're like 225, and I'm like, all right, no, let's not do that. Let's just put 165 on it. And then when I tell them how I want them to lift it, it's hard for them to do. Because they don't have a technique. You understand? So in the proper form is not, form is important, and they don't use that form. So they're like, oh my gosh, this is super heavy. And in my mind, I'm like, you just told me you could do 225, and here you're struggling to get 165 up.
So yeah, with the improper form, can't they have injuries?
They can have injuries, but that's the reason for the trainer. That's the reason why I feel compulsive that you hire a trainer, because of the fact that you need someone there to guide you and show you how to properly lift without, so that you don't injure yourself.
Right. Now, I was reading an article the other day from the Washington Post, right? It was from 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now, it said, research published in June of 2018 in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine showed a striking increase in risk for black men between the ages of 40 and 79 to have heart attack. In the period between 2011 and 2014, 65% of black men were at risk of having a heart attack or stroke in the next 10 years, compared with 54% in that age group from 1999 to 2002. So in a period of 9 to 13 years, it went up from 54% to 65% of chance for having a heart attack or stroke. So with that, what's the most important factor when trying to combat stroke or a heart attack?
First thing I should be doing is going to get a checkup, see the doctor, which most minorities don't do. We have a tendency of just going when something is drastic, not to do a regular checkup to see where we're at and what range we're in. All of the factors that we just went over, like the eating, the drinking, all of those things naturally come in. Smoking, that all plays a part in the heart attack or the stroke. Because if I'm out and I'm drinking every day, I'm increasing. When I'm eating bad every day, I'm increasing my chances of having a heart attack. And I subconsciously, that's why they call it the silent killer, because most people neglect it because they say, oh, I feel good, I feel great. But they don't know where their levels are at. And then what ends up happening is they don't know until they physically, something unfortunate happens, or they go to the doctor and the doctor's like, listen, you need to lose 30 pounds or 40 pounds and you need to do it ASAP because you're in a bad range. So unfortunately, that's what it really takes in order for people to pay attention to their situation. It's a little bit more pricier to eat healthy versus if I'm eating bad, it's really cheap. That's the reason why they have these Chinese restaurants, McDonald's, Wendy's, all of that stuff. Again, you have to go back to the moderation, and you can't eat those things every day because they pack on, like with the French fries, they pack on a ton of salt on it. If you go to and you get let's just say a cheeseburger, they put salt on the cheeseburger, they put ketchup, they put cheese on there, all of these sodium factors, they put pickles on there, it's full of salt, and you think oh, this tastes good, I ate already, but you're just eating nothing but a big blanket of salt.
Well, I mean, they might look at it different, oh, look at all this protein I have.
Well, they won't, right, but you can't eat that every day. You can say, all right, I've had 30 or 40 grams of protein, but you can't eat that every day. If you're eating that every day, you're spiking. It's like going into a deli and saying, oh, you know what? Let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese with sausage on it.
Right.
And you think oh, wow, I'm eating, that's good, But what really happens is that bacon, egg, and cheese, they're putting mayonnaise on it. They're like, you want salt, pepper, ketchup? And everybody says when they go to the deli, yeah, let me get salt, pepper, ketchup. And then they'll be like, you want mayonnaise? And they'll be like, yeah. You're loading the sandwich up with nothing but sodium.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's funny.
You're not paying attention to what it is. And then you'll say, now this is the killer. On top of that, yo, let me get a coffee with 5 sugars in it. A large coffee with 5 sugars in it and milk.
It's funny. I get honey in my coffee now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Honey is good. Honey is all right. You know what I mean? But you're an exception to the rule because most people get 4 or 5 sugars in their coffee.
Right.
When you go to the deli, They give you 4 or 5 sugars. How many sugars you want? And they don't use teaspoons. They use tablespoons.
Yeah.
You understand? And so when you look at it, you're like, I just had a bacon, egg, and cheese. I got a coffee. It's a sweet coffee or whatever. That's all the starch that turns to sugar. Sugar turns into body fat. Let alone it's killing your cholesterol factor. Because bacon and sausage is like, forget it. If you're going to eat like bacon, it should just be like 2 strips. If that person is a bacon eater. But most people don't eat just 2 strips of bacon. They have 5, 6 strips of bacon.
Right. They need to taste that salt.
Right. They need to taste that salt. And then if the serving size is on a sausage is 1, then they'll be like, let me get 2 sausages.
But don't you think that's just like the American way? Like we're just gluttonous?
It is. It is. I mean, we weren't bought like when we grew up. That's what we ate because everybody else ate it. As you get older, I feel that we need to pay more attention to what it is that we're consuming. You understand? So like, I have a drink or 2. I never go over, like when I'm out, I more or less try to pay attention. So like I was out the other night and I went to a restaurant and I had a steak, I had a ribeye, and they cut it up in strips or whatever. So the first thing I told them was, when you cut the ribeye up, I want you to give me 2 garlic and olive oil minced in a little container. And then they were like, oh, okay. I was like, did you do that? I said, because if you don't do that, then I don't want to order the steak. And they're like, no, we do it. I said, okay. And then she was like, well, we have rice and we have totones that go with it. I said, well, I don't want the totones. You can keep that. I said, just give me a little bit of rice, but I want to make sure that the 2 garlic things with the olive oil are on the side. And they gave it to me. And then I mixed it in. And it had onions and peppers in there. And I ate it and felt great.
Now, when it comes to the tostones, is it the fact that you don't really care for them like that, or is it the oil factor?
I'm not necessarily, I eat them, but I'm really, like, I try to pay more attention. Like, if I have tostones with rice, it's like I'm combining 2 starches.
Yeah.
And my protein should always outweigh my carbohydrates. You understand? Because as a male, we need 40 grams of protein per serving. At least 3 to 4 times out the course of the day, we should be eating 40 grams of protein. So, being that we can't always get the 40 grams, that's the reason for the protein powder, the whey protein, so that if you are unable to get it, you can say, all right, I'm going to take a protein shake, and that's my 40. And it keeps you from craving the bad things. So, like, I'm a chocolate lover. I love chocolate. So a way for me to cut my cravings is I buy the chocolate whey protein. So then I'll put a banana in there. I'll put a little bit of peanut butter in there. I'll put some oatmeal in there, and I'll blend it up with some ice. I'll put a little Fairlife milk in there, and I'll blend it up, and I got a 50-gram shake, and I'm good. Once you're down that, you're going to be like, oh, I'm full. I ain't trying to eat nothing else after that. You know what I mean?
Word. When it comes to men finding a trainer, what's the most important thing they should be looking for?
They should be looking more or less for the experience that the trainer has. I mean, it's great that, that you want to give everybody a chance, but I think a more seasoned trainer is going to help you better than a trainer who's just start learning. Like, they have their license and they're certified, but then they have trainers that are a little bit more experienced. And you want the one that's a little bit more experienced, the one that's been working with people, because especially if you're looking for something a little bit more, you don't necessarily, in my eyes, like, all trainers are good trainers, don't get me wrong. There's no wrong or right way. There's always a more effective way when it comes to working out.
Right.
But I would prefer a person, if I was seeking a trainer, I would prefer a person that has a little bit more experience. They don't have to be but at least have like 5 years experience that you've been working with people. And then, I feel you can learn from that person, because what you're doing now is you're trying to absorb and learn by asking questions and like, well, what is this? And most people don't ask, but you may find that trainer that's like, yo, we're doing this today because we have X, Y, and Z factor to do. We're doing push-ups and pull-ups because we want to develop your inner body strength. The weights don't have to be heavy in order for it to be effective because this is what we're working on. And that's really what you want. You want somebody who's a little bit more seasoned because you can always get a trainer that's brand new that you're like, all right, well, he may be less money than, he's definitely going to be less money than a more seasoned trainer. But then again, he's learning too. So do I really want that person to learn on me, or would I prefer them to learn with somebody else? You know, you have a lot of trainers that are great with older people because they're still learning in their process. But I myself, you know, being that I've been working out, I would always take somebody. It's just like you work out.
Right.
You know, I'm sure if you're looking for training, you're not going to go with a trainer that's brand new because you're going to be like, well, how long have you been working? How long have you been certified? And they might be like, oh, 2 years. And you might say, all right, well, 2 years, well, how many people have you been training? And they really haven't been training that many people.
Right.
Because they're still in the process of still learning. So, you know, there's an example for everybody. If a person comes in and is like, all right, Teo, I want somebody who's not going to be as hard on me. I'm just trying to get, you know, into a little rhythm of a flow. Then I'm going to give you that new trainer. Because I'm going to explain to that new trainer, like, all right, this person is, you know, they're just trying to get themselves into it. I want you to guide them. And they're going to give you specifics of what they're trying to do. Because it all boils down to what you are trying to do as a human being. So if you tell me you're trying to lose 100 pounds and I'm not going to sell you something, I'm not going to tell you, all right, well, you can lose 100 pounds by training twice a week. You know that person has to train 3-4 times a week minimum in order to see some type of results. And then they have to come in on their own at least 2 more times a week. So that's the greatest way to attack anything.
Right. So when it comes to losing weight, what's a healthy amount of weight to lose per week?
2 to 3 pounds.
2 to 3 pounds.
Yeah, you may lose more, but on average 2 to 3 pounds. And the reason for that is that when you stop and it's not, you don't want it to just automatically pack back on. It should never be something where I lost 10 pounds in 1 week, I lost 20 pounds in 1 week, because those are not really realistic goals. Are you going to lose 20 pounds next week? Highly not. But when you change your workout regimen in the beginning, you may lose 5-7 pounds in the beginning. And I always explain to my clients, a lot of it is water weight, and it's the inactivity. So your body's in the shock, like, oh wow, what the heck is going on? We're working out now, and it automatically treads it. Like, your body has a sense, and it can always tell, like, if you're trying to starve it or what you're trying to do. And the next thing is, you know what you're going to do when you come into the gym, because in your mind, you've already made up, like, you know what, I'm going to come and I'm going to get on the treadmill for 30 minutes. And I might do a couple of pull-ups, you know, but you don't know what the trainer's going to do.
Right.
The trainer may be like, nah, we're not doing that. You can do that on your own. Because my theory is always, you don't need me to do the things that you can do on your own. You need me to do the things that you're not going to do.
Right. It's that mental push, the physical push.
That mental push.
Yeah.
And you know what you're going to do, but you don't know what I'm going to do. You may think you're going to come and you're going to do, we did chest yesterday, so you might be like, oh yeah, we're going to do arms today. And I'd be like, no, we're doing legs and shoulders and back. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, all 3 of those? Yeah, that's what we're doing today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're trying to shock their body.
Exactly. You're shocking the body. And that's how you see the greatest loss, you know, weight loss, you know?
Right. I barely hear guys saying that they want to lose weight. It's mostly, hey, I want to get big. I'm trying to get gains.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's true. That is true. And like I explained to most guys, a way for you to get gains is you have to eat. Forget about, like, those supplements are great, but I always tell my clients in the beginning, like, listen, for the first 3-4 months, we're going off for raw strength. I don't want you taking any supplements. I don't want you taking any of that. Because in the beginning, it's not going to work if you're taking it all the time. It's never going to work because you're just in the beginning stages. You got to get the muscles naturally working on its own, and then you add the supplementation to it, and it helps increase the muscle, the mass. It helps you with your endurance. It helps you not be fatigued as much because now you have an aid factor in there, you know?
Right.
So, like, I always tell people protein is good for the recovery time. And creatine, not the flavored creatine that they sell in all of these high-end creatines that they're telling you that they're working. You're more or less paying for a marketing strategy is what you're doing. You can buy cheap creatine for like $20, the regular white one. You can add it to your protein shake, and you only need like a little half of a teaspoon or a little less than half of a teaspoon, and you put it in there, and it really helps your skeletal muscles too. And there's no side effects. So all you're doing is you're adding water, because creatine is naturally found in steak. But we can't get the amount of creatine that we need, because you know how many steaks we need to get? We can't get that. So we would do a scoop, and you don't have to do it every day. But what I always tell people is the first 7 to 10 days, you would do it every day. It's like having a shake. Shake you would do in order to flood your system with it, because you want your system to naturally flood with the protein and the creatine. So for the first 7 to 10 days, you're going to take it twice a day, the protein supplement. And then when you get to 7 to 10 days, then you can cut back and you can say, I'm only going to do it once a day. You understand? You're going to notice right away, if you've been working out for 3 months and you start to take it, you're going to notice right away that everything is going to shoot up. It's because you got a regimen, you got a trainer that knows what he's doing and what he's talking about. And then you're going to be like, holy cow, wow, I didn't even know that I feel a difference in my whole body and the way I look. It feels incredible. And that's what you need. You know, it's not about how much you pay for the supplements, because you can, like these creatine and whey protein have been around for years now. You know, those are the natural things that don't cost much. Protein is like, you can always find a protein on sale. My suggestion for anybody that's doing it, don't go by the label. Just get regular protein or regular creatine and use that, because if you're on a budget, that's going to help you a lot, because you're tearing the muscle. You got to realize something. You're tearing the muscles up. How am I going to recover? It may take me, if I'm working out straight 5 days a week or 6 days a week, I'm going to need that recovery factor, because eating alone is not going to do it. It has to be combined with some type of protein or creatine, and that's going to help you a lot.
I got a friend.
Uh-huh.
And I think he's early 40s. I think he just turned 42. Now, he just lost an incredible amount of weight. So, you know, I'm like, yo, like, how'd you lose the weight? Or why'd you lose the weight? And he goes, hey, listen, you know, a lot of guys around me were like in their 40s and they were just dropping.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, yo, I had to, that was an aha moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like growing up in the neighborhoods that we come from, you know, and us really paying attention to our health, like, were there a lot of guys that you grew up with that are no longer here today because of their health?
No, I'm not going to say that. No. You, and if they are, I really don't know about it. Because along with me just being in the Bronx, most of my friends are still around. They're not in the best health, but they're still around, you know?
Yeah.
And again, they're always like, yo, I gotta come get with you in the gym. I gotta come get with you in the gym. But
I gotta get right. For guys thinking about going into the training world, what is some advice you would give to them?
If you're planning, I think it's still an excellent tool. After the COVID is over, it's something where, to me, it was the best investment, my best investment. My license paid, and I got my license years ago. I can't even explain how many times over it's paid. If you're looking to get into it, I'm not going to. You get a nationally recognized certification. You don't necessarily need to get NASM and all of these brands that they're talking about. You should go to NFPT because they're more reasonable and they're nationally recognized certification. And all of them, what the misconception is that you get paid more with NASM than you do with any other certification, and that's not true. All gyms pay the same when it comes to certification. As long as you're certified, you're going to get the same pay.
Okay.
And what happens with NASM is they charge you, like, I don't know how much it is now, but it might be like $2,500, and then they charge you $500 to take the test. If I haven't made any money yet, I'm laying out $3,000 and I haven't even recouped not $1 yet. Where with NFPT, it's cheaper, and I think the test is like $200 or $350 or whatever it is. It's like 100 questions or 200 questions each section, and You have to pass all 3 sections with a certain amount in order for you to be a first-class personal trainer. It beats you laying out $3,000 that you really don't have, and you haven't made any money yet. You know, and then their renewal it's $85 a year. You just take your. They have some free online courses that they email you, and then you have to take continuing education courses in order to renew for the next year, because you get the 85 is a yearly fee to renew your license, where NASM, one of them, is like $250 or $300. It's every 2 years, and then it's like you're taking a whole book test all over again. So, you know, again, I don't feel that it's feasible for a person who hasn't made any money yet. And when I tell people about this, they be like, "Wow, Teo, why you didn't tell me before?" I said, "Because you never asked me." You know, they're like, "I laid out all this money and I haven't even made any money yet." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. That's the reason why I tell people." And their misconceptions, they think that it pays more. And I'm like, no. You're going to get paid the same amount of money. You got an NASM cert and I got an NFPT, National Federation of Personal Training cert. I'm getting the same money as you. It doesn't matter. I'm going to work at the same gym as you if I wanted to go there.
Right.
You know?
Right. Now, what's one of the greatest success stories you had as far as one of your clients?
I have many success stories. All right, I have people who lost 150 pounds. Number 2, I have people that have been training with me for over 12 years, and they still train with me through their phone. They really don't need me, but they still train with me.
Yeah, that's loyalty.
Exactly. You know, anytime you're in a pandemic and you have 14 clients that you're training through your phone, there's something to be said, you know, about that. And people trust you, and they know that you know what you're doing.
Now, is this like through Zoom or?
No, this is just through my phone, personal, one-on-one, through my phone. I don't use Zoom, but I could use Zoom if I wanted to, but I don't, because these people are just one-on-one through my phone, through WhatsApp.
Okay.
We work right through there, or I do it through Skype.
Okay.
You know, and I've been training people since the pandemic.
That's a blessing, man.
Yeah, it's a blessing. So you know,
Right.
I still have a couple of people that I have in the city, but still, you know, when we weren't able to move, I was still training people through my phone.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah. If people want to find you, where can they find you?
They can go send me an email through Teo Johnson@gmail.com, or they can shoot me a text at 646-546-9455. And just give me a brief, you know, I may not answer you, but shoot me a text. I will definitely get back to you within the day. And the only reason why is because 9 times out of 10 I'm training someone. But I will definitely get back to you. And then if you're serious and you decide that you really want to make a change in your life, then that's where I come in at. I'm certified in kickboxing. I'm certified in nutrition. I do rehab. I do cancer. I'm certified in cancer rehab. So there's a lot of things that come, you know, with me and what I do. And that person, they'll be able to see for themselves.
And you're based out of?
I'm in Manhattan right now, in Soho, at a private gym. So what normally happens is that they have the option of meeting. They can come. We can work out in the gym, or we can work out online. It's up to them. And again, it all implies on what they are trying to do. I have a gym that I just pay a flat rate to, and we're able to train. The gym is super clean. It's called The Gym. It's super, super clean. We have everything we need there. And it's just like a private gym where people can actually go. There's alcohol and Purell all over the place. And we have guys that clean. They have guys cleaning all the time. So the gym is really, really clean. But, you know, that's where I've been working out of. I've been working on my own for like 3 years now. So, you know, ever since I left 24, I've been training on my own. So, you know, and thank God I'm able to sustain myself.
So let's say somebody signs up with you. You guys have a session scheduled. How should they prepare themselves?
Well, they should make sure that they come with sneakers, sweatpants, make sure that they have water with them, make sure you eat something a half an hour to 45 minutes before you come into the gym to work out. I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to make you aware of what it is. Once we have the consultation, you sit down and tell me what it is you're trying to do, because I don't believe in just putting you on a treadmill and I'm going to have you just loosen up a little bit on the bike for like 5 minutes, warm your knees up, and then we're going to see where you're at, because the first part of working out is the assessment phase, which I want you to work out because I want you to see the effect of the training. I'm going to make it to where you can complete it, and then based upon that, because I can tell more or less what it is you can and can't do, and how we see the greatest results is we work on where you're weak at, because that's what changes the structure of your body, is by working where you're weak at. You know, if I know you love to do chest, which I'm sure most guys do, or whatever it is you love to do, I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to give you pull-ups, because I know you really don't like pull-ups, and you probably have to work on getting your body pull-ups. So that's where we go to the assisted pull-up machine to help you develop that inner body strength. So it's a little bit different for everybody, and we just have to see and assess what it is that you can and can't do and where you're trying to go.
Okay, and what mindset should they bring?
Always a confident mindset. You know, I mean, when you're coming in and you're doing something, my job is to encourage you, because it doesn't do me any good if you're unable to complete the workout. It doesn't do me any good. You know, you have to be able to complete it. You know, and I'm going to make sure you're able to complete it. And then after we finish with that, then I'm going to tell you what it is and where your weaknesses are and what it is that we need to work on. And then after that, it's clearly up to that person.
Okay.
What they want to do.
All right. Well, brother, I appreciate you hopping on the podcast, man.
I appreciate you inviting me, my brother.
Oh, man, we definitely going to talk, man. I appreciate it.
All right, my brother.
Yes, sir. Love.
Have a great day, brother.
Thank you for listening to Black Man Renaissance.